Mr Mayor, it is now 8 months since the end of the Dunton Gardens suburb consultation. There's still no date on the Council's forward plan for the results to be put to the Council. The draft statement of community involvement, which was recently consulted on, said that all comments received as part of the planning policy consultation will be collated, analysed and taken into account in decisions made by the Council, where appropriate changes will be made to the local plan to reflect comments received before it is progressed to the next stage. The Dunton Gardens suburb consultation undoubtedly has a bearing on the next stage of the local plan, even if details of sites to be developed are not included at this point. How then can the next stage be considered without publication of the Council's response to the Dunton Gardens suburb consultation?
Mr Mayor, firstly I need to make it clear that the draft statement of community involvement is not council policy. It is a draft that is subject to change and final approval. Secondly, the Dunton Gardens suburb consultation carried out jointly with Brentwood Borough Council between January and April this year was not a planning policy consultation for the borough's local plan. It was a consultation undertaken to discharge the Council's legal duties under Section 10 of the Localism Act 2011, which is the duty to cooperate. And it's in seeking views from Basildon and Brentwood Borough communities, businesses, government agencies and other public bodies as to whether there were any merit to explore a shared development option at a cross-boundary location to the west of Dunton and Langdon. Thank you.
Dr. Gibbs, have you a supplementary?
No, I don't.
We'll move on to question 6, also from Dr. Gibbs.
Mr Mayor, this is directed at the Leader of the Council. Several of our neighbouring councils, including Brentwood and Castle Point, use live webcasts of council meetings to improve public access to the democratic process. At the last meeting, you expressed a desire to see this happen in Basildon. When can we expect to see that considered by the Council?
Thanks for that. I don't recall expressing a desire. And what I would say is that the Council has looked at providing that service over a number of years. And of course there is a cost to it. It doesn't come for free. And the initial outlay is something like 15,000. And then of course on top of that you would have to have some officer or member of staff to work it. So it could rack up quite quickly in terms of its cost. And I think really that this is for members to decide whether they want to spend taxpayers' money on that service. Now if you look at the audio service currently, and you look at how many people are accessing that, even on a really good night, we only get something like 65 hits. And I think that most of those are going to be members sitting in this chamber. So unless somebody really has a passion for looking at themselves on video, I think maybe particularly at times of austerity, and we've yet to see the full effects of the Chancellor's statement working through into the Council's finances, but it's not going to be pretty, we know that. There are going to be some really difficult decisions on some of our most valued frontline services, to therefore put maybe 20,000, 25,000 plus into a service for filming. I think we might all come under a bit of scrutiny from our residents, whatever side of the chamber excuse me, we are on, that says, is this really a good use of taxpayers' money? Thank you.
Dr. Gibbs, have you a supplementary question?
Yes, I do. I understand that costs are important, but I notice that councils like Brentwood and Castle Point with live webcasts seem to waste less time due to practice such as filibustering. Could this be taken into account as a cost benefit?
No, I think actually that's a really cynical view. There is no filibustering in this council chamber. There has never been any filibustering. There's never been any filibustering, I can assure you. And I think particularly, other members laugh, but that's because they judge us on their low standards, Mr. Mayor. And what I would say, tell me if I'm talking too long, of course. What I would say is, if there is a question to be asked, and 9 times out of 10 there's a political motive behind it, we understand that. But as I've said to other leaders, opposition leaders, if you ask the administration a political question, then you expect a political answer. I think when you look at the way we conduct business in Basildon from all sides of the parties, we do a much better job than Benford and Brentwood and perhaps other councils put together. We are serious, we are passionate about our service that we provide to residents, and that is why we're here. We didn't come in here for half measures. So I won't talk anymore because I might be accused of perhaps prolonging the question, but that's my answer. Thank you.